And we're back, Stripe Show Podcast. On a Tuesday, I'm your host, Travis Fulton. Thank you for making us part of your day. Joining me this week, as he does many weeks, to give us some winning tickets that include a first-round leader. No one hits the first-round leader more than this guy here, as he did last week with Tom Hoagie, who eventually went on to win the tournament, Beatin The Bookie. What's up, my man?
Not much, just excited for another week. We did hit Tom Hoagie plus 2,200 last week for round leader. That was actually our fourth straight round leader. I mean, it's probably like personal record. And I think the last, since we've started this season in 2021, we've hit 17 outrights and round leaders. So
yeah,
it's been a nice run. I mean, I'm sure sooner or later it'll come to an end. But, you know, I'm just trying to milk it until the wheels fall off at this point.
Well, it better not be this week. If you don't hit the first round leader this week, I'm not going to invite you back.
We were talking earlier about how, you know, I don't like the three courses when they're playing the three courses, but it actually, you know, for first round leader, it actually works out well because it gives you like three different courses to hit the leaders. And Hoagie was the only round leader I took on the Pebble Beach course that week. So, or the Monterey, I think he was on maybe Monterey, but whatever course he was on was the only one that we took. And we had a nice run from Troy Merritt, just came up short, but hopefully this week we can get back to some more normal golf where we actually have a shot tracker. We actually have video of, you know, all the players. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. I love this week. We had a good week here on the show. If you listened last Tuesday, I tell you, I look back at my notes and the names that I had down, and then I had to whittle it down. But my goodness, we had a peg last week. I went back in and on the model that I put together, and it really worked out well. We hit, we played some win tickets, of course. And usually when I play the win, I'll play the top 22 with them as well. And then some individual top 20 bets. You know, I play a fair amount of those and didn't get the winner. I was on Putnam, who was close. But we did hit the top 20s, and we hit 6 of them, which is great with, you know, Seamus and the Zadenhut and Fitzpatrick and McCarthy. Pat Perez was one that was a good hit that he snuck in there. So it was a good week. And now we turn the page to waste management, thankfully, because as I mentioned, I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but you know, the Pebble Beach event's the one that probably frustrates me the most. It's the one that feels old to me. It feels like a rerun. You know, the celebrities, I get it. It's kind of fun with that. And with the tour, it's a place to showcase, bring their executives from these companies that are sponsoring, which is a nice perk. There's other ways to do that. I think there's other ways to get celebrities involved, but 3 courses, playing with celebrities, 6-hour rounds. The best players don't want to come. And it was that the field has been depleted. And now what you get Saudi stepping in because they know they can bring those people over because DJ's not going to play in that event, and Xander and those guys. And so they come over there, and then they can come back. And now the waste management really, I think, is kind of benefiting from Pebble Beach being stuck back in 1986, reruns of MASH, as I put it. That was the analogy that I used. And waste management, what a field. I mean, this is the best field. I was just looking at Kyle Porter on Twitter. He said the best field in over a decade here at Waste Management, 6 in the top 10. Man, this is going to be fun. You know, I mean, TPC Scottsdale, it's kind of your, your straightforward PGA Tour type of golf course. And of course, the surroundings of 16 is magical. It kind of continues down 17 now, which is, I think, one of the most enjoyable holes to watch in golf, drivable par 4 with the water on the left. And then you got a great finishing hole in 18. So let me ask you, you step up to 16, all those people around, what are you hitting and what are you going to do? You going to stick the green?
Probably not. I'll probably do like what Spieth did and go short on the green like he did last week, just missing it, or I'll fly it into the crowd, maybe off the canopy into the back of the green. That's a tough. I mean, you know, it's a fun hole to watch because some players love it. You know, some players love like the crowd going crazy, and then you got some guys like maybe like if Bubba's not playing too well, you get the crowd just razzing him, or he's going to get pissed off. So you just see the range of emotions from players on that hole.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun though. Pretty fun.
Oh, it's fantastic. And I used to live there back in '99, and when I was there at that tournament, there wasn't surrounded at all. We used to sit on the back of the hill there behind the green on 16, because on the hill there you could then look down to 17 and watch them drive onto 17 green. And I was actually standing right by the pond on 17 when Andrew McGee hit that drive down, and it rolled into the group ahead of him, and it hit the putter shaft and went in the hole. I was standing right there. True story. No one knew what happened. The ball comes bouncing down. The guy's getting ready to putt. I can't remember who it was.
Did it count? I mean, did it count for him?
And the ball's coming, and he kind of like flinched, and he ricocheted right off the center of his putter shaft, and the ball disappeared. And we're like, did that ball just go in? Hole in one on that par 4. True story. Standing right there.
So albatross, huh?
No, it was an eagle. Or an albatross. Yeah, 1 on a par 4. Yeah. Yeah. So 1 on a par 4. Yep. Crazy. All kinds of stuff has happened here. Just all kinds of interesting moments. You go back to previous winners. Of course, Koepka won here in last year at 19 under. Xander kind of struggled a little bit down the stretch. Webb won here the year before that, 18 under. Finau, probably the most painful win ticket I've ever sat on was Finau winning. Oh my God. And win ticket on that. And he plays the last 4 even, which is basically like 2 over to those guys. Webb sneaks in. Ricky's won here. Woodland won here. Hideki twice. And then Koepka, you go back a ways, and he's won here. So he's won a couple times. I think, of course, I've played it. And when you look at it, of course, approach is always way up there. Putting is always interesting here this week. They come off those POA greens, and they come over here, and it's got like POA trivials, but they call it this certain strain of Bermuda, but then it's so overseeded with bent, it probably putts more like bent. And you've got to have the hot putter here for sure. I mean, you've got to be trending in that +3, 4, 5 in putting. But I think you got to elevate off the tee here a little bit more. Accuracy certainly going to come into play. Maybe not quite as much as over in Pebble, but you got to have the around the green game too. So a little bit. I mean, those are kind of pushed up here a little. So you kind of do need a little bit more of that complete player, I think, with a little more emphasis perhaps on accuracy maybe here than some other courses. And it kind of speaks to the winners of Koepka, Webb, Ricky, Woodland, Hideki. I mean, that's a pretty heady list, when you look at it. What else stands out to you about this golf course?
It's just like one of the more fun tournaments. I think, a lot of players obviously have fun with it. And, it's a fun tournament to watch, because a lot of the times, like it's a lot more fun to watch a tournament with a crowd, going crazy than we saw like some tournaments during the pandemic where we didn't have any crowd at all.
Right.
There's just something about watching sports with a crowd that's better than with no crowd. Like football, Super Bowl last year when you had 20% fans versus a full Super Bowl this year, which is the more fun one to watch. So fans always bring a certain level of entertainment. Will we get a streaker at this year's event? I'm sure we'll have one. I mean, we always seem to get, this is the one tournament every year where you can, bet your dollar that, the one lock will be seeing a bunch of drunk guy videos stumbling down the course. This is always the place where it's at. And I believe they have a sports book there this year.
They do.
On course. So,
they do. Yep. They have a sports book walking in. Yep.
It's gonna be pretty fun.
Great point. And you got guys traveling back from Saudi Arabia too. So you have to kind of keep that in mind if you're someone who likes to factor in the travel aspect. Although these guys are professionals and get their sleep, that's a long haul coming back from there. The good news is their wallets are padded regardless of how they played. And the one thing that always makes me laugh here is seeing Big Bird in the stands on 16. Every time I see that, it makes me laugh. I don't laugh anymore when Bill Murray does his spiel and he hits a backward, like, okay. But when I see Big Bird in the stands on 16, that brings a smile to my face. I laugh every single time. Phenomenal. Big Bird growing the game in the gallery on 16. All right, let's get right to it here. All right. So here's a few things that I'm looking at. for this week at TPC Scottsdale, par 71. Talked about the greens. They're very fast. I was talking with Stephen Sweeney. He's a putting coach out there who works with a number of interesting names in this group: Luke Liss, Mito Pereira, and Aaron Wise. And he said it's the fastest he's ever seen these greens on a Monday. So they're going to be quick. They're in perfect shape. The weather looks good. A couple of the distances that you'll see a ton here from that 150 to 175 range. That's a big number. You'll see a lot right there, 175 to 200. So that middle iron range, you're going to get a great deal. 3 par 5s. You're going to see some eagles here. But as I mentioned, approach, you're going to have a hot putter here this week. And I think you can elevate the influence of the driver here a little bit more this week than last with the distance, if you can keep it out in front of you. And you are going to be challenged with some around the green games here as well. So we do need that complete player. And of course, when you start running these models, the big names always come up. Your John Rahms of the world, your Justin Thomas of the world, and Xander Schauffele. I mean, you run any which way, and you quickly realize when you look at the stats, these are the best players in the world. But we look beyond that, and we give you more than just the chalk. And getting right at it, let's start with some top 20 picks here. I know you've got a few. Hit me with some top 20s.
So the first top 20 I like is Luke List at plus 240. Luke, we all know he won the Farmers Open a couple weeks ago, and he's got 5 top 20s this season. He's playing the best golf of his career. He finally got that win monkey off his back, and he's rested. He didn't play last week, so I feel like he's going to keep his form going. His form's done very good this season, and I think this is an easier course for him. Plays perfectly to his game. So the first top 20 I like is Luke List plus 240. And all of these odds that I'm giving out, I found on FanDuel. Yeah, because FanDuel paid, FanDuel's top 20 odds were a lot higher than DraftKings this week. Okay. Same as last week. The second top 20 I'm going to go with is probably my favorite golfer, second favorite golfer. He's the defending champion here. Brooks Koepka, top 20 at plus 140. I know, Koepka hasn't played that great this season. But for me, it's with Koepka, it's more of like an interest thing. Like, how bad does he want to be there? Does he want to play this tournament? And I think, as he is the defending champion, he is a 2-time champion here. I think this is a perfect place for him to jumpstart his season and, get going to try to start playing well heading to Augusta. He's also well rested. So I like Koepka to get his form back here, finish in the top 20 at plus 140. I also took a sprinkle on Koepka to be the round 1 leader at plus 3,700. Those odds were, just too good for me to pass up right there. So Koepka round 1 leader plus 3,700, because when he plays well, he comes out firing. I've probably hit 7-8 round leaders on Koepka the past 5 years.
Wow.
So he's one of those guys that when they play well, they come out firing. We did see him come back last year. He was down 5 shots last year, headed to the final round, which we saw Jordan Spieth shoot 2 over. But he mastered the final round here last year. So I think he'll carry that momentum, his familiarity with the course. And he knows he wants to get back on top. And there's no better place to start than just defending his championship. I mean, we've seen him do this at majors. So I'd like to see him do that, at the Phoenix Open.
It's been the driver with Koepka that's been the problem. He has not hit his driver well. But to your point, last year when he came here, got a season started, he missed 3 consecutive cuts coming into this tournament last year and was not playing that well. And he wasn't hitting his driver quite as bad as he is right now. But he shows up to Waste Management, hangs around, pitches the ball in on 17 for eagle, and off he goes. And the guys ahead of him stumble just enough. Yeah, I think anytime you can get those kind of numbers on a world-class player like Brooks Koepka, it's tough to pass up. But he's got to figure that driver out, because he's hitting it long and crooked. I mean, it's all over the place. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But your Luke List, man. Luke List, I think, is coming. He's on his way. I could see this coming with Luke and the putting, and that's the reason I talked to Stephen Sweeney this morning, which will air it on Thursday. Fabulous insight to some significant changes that he's made with his putter. I mean, significant. And it's worked. So I like that bet, 240. This is a good place for Luke List. I have that also, Luke List. I don't have Koepka, but I do have Luke. And I'm back on the Fitzpatrick train too. Fitzy was good to me last week.
Yeah, he was.
He was really good to me. Made me some money. That's a good course fit for Fitzpatrick. It's his first time. That doesn't scare me. Plus 170. I'm a damn homer for Aaron Wise. You know that. But I'd have to go back and look. I think I've made more money than I've lost on Aaron Wise. But Wise is he's like Luke. He's not as long, but he's accurate. He will get you there to the green with the best of them. The question is will the putter be good? And the putter is trending the right way, folks. I think it was 6 of the last 8 positive strokes gained. So I could see a top 20 for him. I'm not sure how you can't bet Webb top 20 here.
Yeah, for sure.
At plus 120. That's at DraftKings. I'm going to look at that at FanDuel as well. What do you think of Corey Connors? Because there's a lot of, when I look at the model stuff here, in particularly like the course fit, Corey Connors' name is way up there at this place. Do you have any interest in Corey Connors? We know he can get there.
Yeah, I just don't see his putter. I don't see his putter being good enough to win. I mean,
yeah,
we've all seen him go. He can get there. He can get there with his irons, but he just it seems like he never makes long putts.
Right.
And I remember I think it was the Valspar last year. I had Corey Connors for a max play, and I'll never forget one hole. He's like 50 feet above the pin, putting for eagle, and he ended up getting a bogey, because he went 30 feet past the hole, on his putt. So he's just a guy. I just don't, I like him as a player. He's a young and upcoming star.
Yeah.
Probably Canada's best golfer at this point. I just don't trust him with his putter. So, as the season goes on, like if his putter gets a little hotter, I might start betting him. But right now, I just haven't seen anything to show me that his putter is ready to go. So,
yeah, and it's kind of his ball striking hasn't been as clean either, and I think that's what concerns me. But man, he checks out on this overall model perspective. I just think from a recent form, when you dig deeper, and I bring them up because a lot of people listening and others are looking at a lot of the same data, and they're going to see Corey Connors' name, and I'm going to shy away from him just because recent form and the ball striking is it just hasn't been the same. And he'll clip along plus 4 and 5 easily, strokes gained approach, and it hasn't been anywhere near that as of late. So I'm going to pass on him. So the one top 20 that I missed last week was Mito.
Me too.
And I missed on a few. It wasn't just one, but that was the one I felt really confident about. And there he is again. Again, I feel like just should be a good course. It's his first time. I'm really encouraged by his putter, though. Really encouraged. I'm jumping back on plus 275. I'm jumping back on Mito at plus 275. I like these top 20 plays, by the way. Seems to be like the only thing I'm actually decent at in betting. All right.
You should just extend it out to top 40s. Those are.
I mean, yeah. Right. Okay. All right. So we got Mito. We've got Fitz. We got Wise. We got Webb. Got List. Koepka. Molinari staring me in the face. I'm going to put a little more time. There's 2 others I'm going to look at. Molinari and KH Lee. I mean, anytime TPC is involved, KH Lee is like a damn magician. Like he wakes up. So I'll look at those a little bit deeper. Let's go top 10s. I know you got a few there.
I was also for top 20. I was looking at Oosthuizen.
Yeah. Yep.
What better place for him to get his putter back rolling, So I think if you want to look at Louis for a top 20, he could be another one.
Well, this is a good place for him. We haven't seen him. He's how much rust is he going to have? But
he's well rested.
Yeah, I mean, he's well rested.
If his putter starts, working like it was last season, a top 20 finish is, easily in the wheelhouse for him. So
oh yeah, no question.
So yeah, for these top 10s,
okay,
I have 3 top 10s. The first one we just talked about, it's a Webb Simpson top 10 plus 360. Now this top 10 was plus 250 at DraftKings, plus 360 at FanDuel. So there's a lot more value at FanDuel. Webb's the 2020 winner. He's the 2017 runner-up. In his last 24 rounds here, he's third in total strokes gained. So I love Webb Simpson in this spot. Also, to get his season jump started also. I also sprinkled Webb to lead the first round at plus 4,200. You never see those odds with Webb Simpson because when he's on his game, just like Koepka, I've probably hit 5 or 6 round leaders on Webb Simpson. So I love Simpson in this spot. So top 10 plus 360. That'll definitely be a play for me.
Yeah, Webb is. I think he's close. I think he's 100. He's close. He's close to 100%. God, you look at him at. Well, that's not a good comparison. He's played one time in January. He played Sony, so he'll be rested coming in.
Hopefully, he'll have shaven that beard. Just not what bearded Webb just hasn't had the success of non-bearded Webb.
So we had Webb. So what were the other ones? You had Webb at plus 360.
Yeah, that was it for the. I mean, that was all we talked about. So my next top 10, is Victor Hovland.
Okay.
This guy is probably the hottest golfer in the world right now. He's got 3 wins his last 5 starts.
Mm-hmm.
So I took Hovland top 10 plus 230. I think that's extreme value for how good he's playing at this current time. And I also sprinkled him to be the round 1 leader at plus 2,900 because he's another one of those guys with the high ceiling where they could run away from the guys in the first round and shoot at 8-9 under easily. So I like the value right there with Hovland at plus 2,900 for round leader and top 10 plus 230.
And then you had one more top 10 or no?
Yeah, the final top 10 I have it's really no words needed for this. John Rahm, minus 110.
It's like, what the hell? You haven't said Rahm's name yet.
John Rahm, minus 110, top 10 finish. And I've hit Rahm twice this year already for round 1 leader. And you can pick him up for round 1 leader at plus 2,000 on FanDuel. He's also he lives in Arizona. He went to Arizona State. So this crowd's going to be, cheering for him. I'm sure he'll put that Arizona State jersey on when he hits on the 16th. But he's never won this event. And he is the world number 1 right now by far.
Yeah.
And what better place to break his, losing streak, I guess, at this Waste Management Open than this year. So the course plays perfectly for him. So Rahm could easily get it done. Like we saw, he should have got the Farmers done, but he kind of faltered in that final round. But yeah, I like Rahm top 10. I think that's a pretty much no-brainer. Multi-unit play if you want. But also round 1 later at plus 2,000. He's been coming out hot out of the gates, for the past year. So I've already hit it twice this year, so I'll hit it again. And, Rahm top 10 and round leader. That's both a couple plays for me.
So Rahm, last 10 events, he's finished outside of the top 10 twice. Missed the cut at Fortinet, and then American Express, he was 14th.
And at the Fortinet, what's his interest level there?
Yeah.
So
the Farmers, his short game hurt him a little bit.
It did.
His short game hurt him a little at the Farmers. So yeah, this one hits home. Like he'll be focused, right? He'll be ready to go with ASU right down. Right now my only top 10, I did play Hovland as well. And I have a Hovland to win also at plus 1,600. I mean, you're just looking at a rising star right now, and he's playing great golf. His short game is getting better. You know, he makes the short game a strength. That's the only thing that you worry a little bit here, maybe, as far as winning and losing. But top 10, check. I'll go 1,600 to win as well. I also like Abraham Answer here. I think this is a really good course for Abraham Answer. I'm going to play him to win at 5,500.
Abe. I just can't find myself backing him. Whenever I back him, he just doesn't show up. But you know, one guy that I did like, I saw Ricky Fowler at 90-1. He did just win here 3 years ago.
Yep.
And he's been playing. You know, Ricky has been coming out of the gates hot the last couple tournaments. But the problem is the second and third rounds he just falls apart. So this course he's very familiar with, obviously having won it. So I thought, you know, 90-1. I thought Ricky Fowler was like a little value right there. So if you want to take a look at him, he's definitely capable of winning it. But can he keep that? Can he keep that first round? You know, that first round pace together through rounds 2 through 4 without, you know, totally falling apart? Because he'll be having a great round, and then all of a sudden he'll bogey, and then it's like double bogey. And then the round just falls apart from there. So if he can keep it together and play consistent, I think at 90-1, you know, Ricky Fowler presents some value.
You're giving me shit about Answer? You're going to take Ricky Fowler? My God.
But at least I know Ricky's won there before. And
yeah, that's true.
You know, with Answer, I mean, with Ricky, I'm expecting less.
Yeah.
You know, like my expectations are a lot lower. With Answer, it's like, when is this guy finally going to do it? And the one time he finally did it is last year when I had Harris English, I think, blew that lead.
Yeah.
So that was, I think it was like the St. Jude, if I'm not mistaken. But Answer, I'm just done waiting for him to play well. So I'll definitely take a flyer with Fowler at 90-1.
Yeah, man, golf would love to see Ricky Fowler get things back.
I mean, look, you were right about. I mean, Jason Day got his his game back. I mean, somewhat.
Yep.
So I mean, it's definitely.
We've been talking about that. Talking about how he's been moving the right way, and you can definitely see he looks more and more like the older Jason Day used to look, and I mean that in a good way.
Yeah.
Answer. He's only played here one time, missed the cut, 2019. He's a interesting guy though, to when you really watch his game. I mean, it's a little bit of, where he's a very talented player. I am taking it based off of, I think when you look at course fits, right? At least from my calculations, you look at course fit. I think his course fit for here is off the chart. And of those names, he's definitely the most talented player. Now, his putter's been a little chilly, but he comes here for the first time. The sun is out. People are happy. There's energy. I'm going with it. Maybe a little bit of a gut feel, but I'm going with it. Putnam was my guy last week. I really liked the way Putnam was playing and coming in, and I tell you, Putnam could be a good player here too.
Yeah. Kind
of hit Putnam late on Sunday. Prime example, talented player, playing well. Late on a Sunday, all of a sudden, I might win, and it's like, shit the bed.
Same with Spieth. Really, same exact thing. You get the lead. Some of these guys take the lead, and it's like they forget how to play. I don't understand. I mean,
yeah,
we used to see Spieth. If he got the lead, he was a straight killer, like just finishing it. Now he starts, overthinking, doubting himself, and one thing leads to another. But this tournament is just absolutely loaded. I mean, you got Rahm, can't lay. Think about, we haven't even talked about Justin Thomas. We haven't talked about Daniel Berger, Sam Burns, who everyone forgot. Sam Burns missed one cut. Everyone forgot about him. So these are all guys capable of winning. I mean, capable of winning this tournament. So
let's talk about him for a second, because we go back to some of these odds. I mean, Rahm, we know, is 6-1. JT, I'm still not ready at 10-1 and trusting his putter. Matsuyama's playing some wonderful golf at 14-1. I think of all the favorites, I think, Hovland's certainly my favorite. I tend to just not play Hideki. I do every once in a while on very difficult courses, but obviously this one here, he's played very well at, has won twice, and has continued to play good golf since winning the Masters. So at 14, I think you have to really look at playing that. Cantlay at 16, Spieth at 18.
See, for me personally, I'd rather take Sam Burns at plus 3,000 than take Jordan Spieth at 1,600.
Okay,
because Sam Burns has shown the ability. When Sam Burns gets a lead, he's putting it away. He's not.
It's true.
Choking on the par 3, like hitting it short, then questioning his caddy and stuff. He's just like Sam Burns when he gets lead. He's putting it away, or he's putting distance in between him and second place. He's not letting doubt creep into his mind. So I'd take Burns. I'm kind of surprised. Burns, he misses one cut and then his odds get back up inflated. Like he has the same odds as Russell Henley, and I'll take Burns over Henley 99 times out of 100.
Yep. Spieth is that his swing looked as good as I've seen it in quite some time last week. This has got to be the most confidence he's been.
But does he is he confident after blowing that lead?
Well,
and then he's not only did he blow the lead this past weekend, but he's coming to a place where he blew a 5-stroke lead to Brooks Koepka last year in the final round and shot 2 over for the final round. So
yeah.
That's got to be in his head also.
Fair.
He's one of those very mental golfers, talks to himself so much. I don't know what's up with his little practice routine now that he gets before he hits, but it's really weird.
Working. It's working. I think he's dialed in. I think his iron games looks a little fade off the tee. Irons are dialed. Perfect surface. I mean, he obviously likes it here. He's played well here.
Dialed in until he takes the lead.
I think you should take Spieth in a first-round leader.
I always do, and let's see what he is.
Could be. He could come in and it feels like a 62 from Spieth on Thursday. That's what it's feeling like.
25-1. And Jordan probably has hit more round leaders than anybody for me. Yeah. So,
it just feels like, okay, here I come again, right back out on the horse.
If you take Jordan, if you just blindly bet every tournament this season, you took Simpson, Koepka, Hovland, and Spieth to be round leaders, you wouldn't do too bad. So he's never a bad bet. As long as you just don't bet him on Sunday.
Schauffele didn't get a lot out of his game in Saudi Arabia. He's at 20. He's played well here. Scheffler is at 22. Berger, I don't know, 25. But, you look at the iron game and those distances that I mentioned, there's no one better than Berger. But where is he going to be with his health? Henley will get some play because he can go with his irons. Yeah, there's Burns. I like Burns at 30-1. I'll probably consider that. The only thing with Burns for me, I like the straight Bermuda greens with Bermuda. This isn't Bermuda. You might see Bermuda, but this isn't Bermuda. Trust me. He grew up in Louisiana. So I get a little hesitant there. I'm out on Finau. In fact, I took Koepka minus 110 over Finau, and I loaded up on it.
Yeah, I like Koepka.
Finau's not playing good golf right now.
It's a little slow to start this season.
And he's coming back from Saudi. Koepka's healthy, defending champ. I loaded up Koepka minus 110 over Finau. Louis 35, Webb 35, Seamus 4,000. Don't be hesitant with Seamus. He had a tough weekend. No one's coming in playing as good a golf as Seamus Power. He had a tough weekend last weekend. He held on for a top 20, thankfully. I did have him as a win ticket. It was looking very good, but I think perhaps a little bit of a learning curve there for him. His Saturday round is what killed him.
Yeah.
Those 3 par 5s early in his round, he played through even, and I was like, uh-oh, this doesn't look good. Because that's the easiest stretch that you can have. I'm going to, where to go here? Yeah, hold on one second here. So, recent results. You look over the last 5 events. Seamus Power, Tom Hoagie, Gooch, McCarthy, who was good to me last week. I like McCarthy too for a top 20. I haven't played it yet, but I think Denny McCarthy's is finding some stuff with his iron game. He's the best putter in the world. And here's a name that I just can't get out of my head, and that's Keith Mitchell.
Yeah, I saw someone I picked him to win this week.
I think I'm going to put just a little bit on him to win as well at 7,000 at 70 to 1. Just a small, like little, just in case kind of thing.
Yeah.
Keith Mitchell, when he plays well, he plays exceptionally well, and he just gets going, and he just looks like he's that dude that that meme that he's running through and he's on fire. Like that's him.
Let's see what he is at. Let's see what Keith Mitchell is at FanDuel. He is
80, 70, 80.
Let's see. Yeah, 70 to 1.
Yeah. He was 7th. He was 12th at RCM, 7th at Sony, missed the cut at the Farmers, 12th at Pebble Beach, and made nothing. And the thing with Keith is he'll go +5, like just like that. I mean, he'll go 3 straight loot and +5 or 6 putting. So, you got to play. I'm playing Victor.
Gary Woodland 100 to 1.
I'm playing Answer. I'm going to sprinkle a little Mitchell, and I'm sure I'll come back. I don't know. There'll be a 4th in there. I'm just not quite sure who it is yet. I feel so good about Koepka over Finau. It's interesting. Spieth is +130 over Matsuyama. That's an interesting one.
Yeah,
That's a man, really?
The one that I was looking at was Sam Burns. I mean, not Sam Burns. Pat Perez -120 over Keegan Bradley.
Pat Perez is playing good golf right now,
and he plays this course well. So
yeah, he hit us last week, top 20, and I mean he's playing good golf. Hideki, well, it's just here's the thing with Hideki, right? So the dude, check this out.
I did like a little Hovland over Cantlay because I think Cantlay's been so consistent the past year. I think he's just due to fall off a little bit. Like, that's just how I feel about Cantlay.
Yeah.
Before he went into this like psycho mode of being like the greatest putter, his results were all over the place, missing cuts and stuff. So maybe he goes back to that. Maybe he doesn't. But I would take Hovland +100 over Cantlay this tournament.
I like that. I like that a lot. I didn't see that one. +100 for sure.
So you can put that for a matchup for me. Hovland.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
+100 over Cantlay.
So Hideki has finished positive in putting, strokes gained putting twice since the middle of August. And he's won both tournaments.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Then he goes +7.3 in Sony. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's crazy. You can't handicap that.
That's how Oosthuizen was last season, with his putter. I mean, some of these guys, they just get hot, at the right time. With the
you got to get 4. You got to get 3, 4. You got to get the putter going here. Like you start looking at the winners +4, +5. You're not going to be able to just kind of get the ball striker. You got to have ball striking, iron game, but you're going to, you got to have that putter going too. And so, yeah, I like that Hovland +100 over Cantlay. I think I'm going to make those my 2 head-to-head matchups this week. We've got a number of top 20s there for you this week. We've got 3 top 10s. And then, we've got a couple favorites there for the winner. And then also a couple to consider as a long shot here. Answer, Mitchell.
Yeah, usually, like when I play, I don't take a lot of pre-tournament. Like when I take first round leaders over tournament winners, mainly because usually if one of the favorites starts slow his odds will be a lot better after round 1 than they were pre-tournament. And you know, if they're still in striking distance, you can get a pretty good price on those. So I usually don't take many favorites pre-tournament to win. But of course, for the first round, you know, I'll take that. Like Rom for the first round is 20-1 to lead, and he's 7-1 to win the tournament. So I always prefer the first round because I feel like, you know, the hold is higher for first round leaders than for full tournaments for sportsbooks. But for me, like in my opinion, I think it's easier for one of these guys to lead for one round than to lead for all 4 rounds. So,
well, clearly it's easier since you hit it every week.
You know, I know that's kind of like against, like it goes against math. I mean, I guess it goes against math, but it just works for me. So,
yep. Are you going to play Speed? Maybe.
I don't know.
I'm going to text you when he's 600 through 9.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably play him for like some lunch money. Yeah.
Kuchar plays well here. I was on him last week. That was the other one I missed inside the top 20. You know, I think the other 2 names that we'll kind of finish up with here that have played well here is Bubba and CH3, or not CH3, but
HV3.
not CH3, HV3, not CH. Harold Varner III and Bubba Watson, who, you know, we're all about the Saudi. Last week, Harold makes a big putt, wins over Bubba. They're flying over. Those 2 guys have played well here. So I think those are the other 2 names, at least, that I have to finish up with my book that deserve some look. I don't think I'm going to play him to win. But I think when you start looking at top 20s and some head-to-heads, I think they're an interesting name to look at. And I think the kicker here is Berger. You know, he's definitely the best iron player here. And, you know, the question is he going to play, right? Is he going to play with the injuries? He had to withdraw last week at the Bingo Open in Pebble Beach.
Yeah. I think I saw Maverick McNeely withdrew too, right?
From this week? All right.
Yeah,
He did?
Yeah, I think
okay.
so.
Maverick's out. All right. All right. Here we go. Let's keep this train rolling. Stripe Show podcast, Waste Management. We've got some people who signed up that will be getting this book out to Beatin The Bookie's complete book, which you can go to his website. He does his best bets every single round.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just tournament like we did, but if you want to go all in this week, Waste Management, which you should, get his package on his website. And how many bets are you making per day, you think, on average?
I'll probably do about 4 round matchups a day, maybe 4 3-ball matchups every day. And then I'll do maybe a prop every single round, or, you know, if they have to make an eagle props, stuff like that.
Okay.
But the pre-tournament bets is, you know, the most we do. We probably have about 25 of those. So,
all right.
There's probably about 45 plays for the entire tournament.
Are they available now?
Yeah, the package is on the site now, but all my plays get released tomorrow night in an email.
Okay. And then the round bets that night before that.
Yeah, they'll go out. In California, we're sending them out the morning of because of the time difference. But for Arizona, I probably send them out the night before. It just depends if the round like finishes earlier, if there's rain or something like that and the round gets delayed. Obviously, there is none. But yeah, those ones will probably go out nightly, probably like 10 p.m. or something like that.
All right. Beatin The Bookie, thank you. Best of luck, everyone. Waste Management, enjoy it. Big Bird, look for him in the fans. You can't miss him on 16.
See ya.